Hi, I'm Tim Leech. I'm Managing Director of Global Services at Risk Oversight out of Toronto, Canada. My main focus has been helping internal audit departments that want to meet what I call the new expectations, and in particular the codification of board risk oversight expectations. There's been developments in the world that have been happening at an unprecedented speed, in my experience. Following the 2008 global crises, commissions were convened all over the world to try and understand what went wrong, and the conclusions were that traditional approaches to internal audit and ERM and board risk oversight had failed the world. And consequently, a lot of brain power, and in particular, the formation of a group called the Financial Stability Board happened. And I told my class this morning at the conference here that the Financial Stability Board is probably the single most powerful regulator in the world that nobody's heard of. The Stability Board was set up following the 2008 crises to try and provide guidance to regulators all over the world, and in particular to study and explore better solutions to managing systemic risk and risks that could destabilize the world, as was experienced in the 2008 crises. And what the Financial Stability Board does is it's comprised of the biggest countries in the world, and they've been publishing guidance to regulators on how to better oversee risk. This is all new frontiers for internal audit. Many internal auditors may or may not know in the year 2000, the IIA updated the professional standards, and I think at the time it was 2120, stating that internal auditors should assess and report on the effectiveness of their company's risk management frameworks and processes. After the 2008 crisis in 2010, the IIA changed the standards, and the word should is now must. So since 2010, it's been a part of the International Professional Practices Framework that every internal audit department that wants to assert that they're in compliance with the standards has to assess and contribute to the improvement of their company's risk management processes. Internal auditors are now expected to do a lot more than just plan audits, do audits, and report their opinions on effectiveness of control. They're being asked to actually help their companies implement better and more effective risk management frameworks. And that has profound implications. It means auditors have to understand and learn a lot more about insurance. They have to learn about how you can contractually share risks through legal agreements and indemnities. They have to, when they issue a decision that they think controls are inadequate, what they're really saying is they believe that the retained risk is unacceptable to the organization. Unfortunately, when you ask them how did they decide that the retained risk is unacceptable to the organization, they don't really have a very solid answer. And part of that is they come from companies that don't have risk appetite statements. They haven't been engaging the boards and management to actually inventory what the management and the board's risk appetite and tolerance is. And again, this is one of the reasons that the senior management, almost 50% of the respondents from senior management didn't see internal audit adding significant value. Boards there was a 10% decline in board dissatisfaction with internal audit contributions year over year. All I can say is I really would encourage all IIA members to read, not just casually but seriously, the July Pulse on the Profession report. I think it has identified some profound trends in customer satisfaction that need to be addressed urgently. If you're familiar with the chair, the theme of Paul Sobel's chairmanship last year was starting to get a handle on the expectation gap, and this year's chair, Anton van Wyk out of South Africa, his theme for the year is Mind the Gap. And when he means mind the gap, he means pay attention to the increasing gap between the satisfaction levels of customers and the perception of internal auditors in terms of how happy they think customers are. We're all human beings, and sometimes change doesn't come easy, so this is going to be a test time for the profession, whether we can respond to the growing dissatisfaction quickly and demonstrably so that we turn that around and we have growing customer satisfaction instead of growing customer dissatisfaction.